personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire, tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you. You know.
With the product placement, the merch.
Be free.
BF2BY.
Yes. Oh. Shout out to our EP who made sure that the merch was on deck for today.
Shout out. #boo.
#boo. Always ready. Yeah. Even when I'm not ready, which is a whole lot of this.
See, I wouldn't even say that this week.
Thank God for a partner that's always ready.
Listen, because my partner over here, well, actually, she woke me up, but I ignored her. I think I didn't hear. I wasn't listening to her. So, and for those of y'all who wonder who my partner, I'm talking about. Dang, I can't say her name because she'll start talking the show.
Y'all know. ALE.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She might be smart enough to be like, yes.
I wonder if you look. I whispered her name, and she still woke up like If I go ALEXA.
I think we're safe.
No, she didn't answer. Okay,
we're safe.
Y'all,
hey,
y'all gotta excuse me. It's been a day. So
it's always a day.
Listen, and I was mad because I got home and forgot to stop and get a Red Bull.
So, oh boy!
Right, I need something. And it is always a day, ain't it?
It is always a day.
But you
know, hi, Brooke. Welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah, it is usually a day, child.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you don't fire your bosses. You know, like you do. And as a matter of fact, happy belated firing your boss anniversary.
Oh, thank you. I was like, wait, hold on. What did I do? Yes. It's been a while. Thanks to Facebook, I even remembered. Right. I haven't even thought about it in so long, but
that's because you did it so long ago.
Yeah. Well, let's be, I believe in being honest. I didn't fire my boss. I got fired, but great things came from that. So I'll just,
y'all had a breakup.
I think it definitely was mutual. I wasn't mad, even when, I didn't even get called in because it was literally like Friday. So on my day off, I got a call like, you don't really seem like you want to be here. And I'm like, yeah, you kind of hitting the nail on the head with that. And so,
I mean, the lunch line was always cracking.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that. I didn't get fired from that job. I definitely walked off of that one. Oh, okay.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay. Well, that one was in May. So when you wish me happy in July, that was insurance. So that's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. Well,
Barzini been with me for a long time, but he got all his dates mixed up.
My bad,
No, it's fine. I was just trying to be honest. Like, no, that one I definitely was like, you got it, girl. You got it.
It seemed like just the whole crew, folks that I knew from everywhere was working at that same place. You had Tamika in one office, you in the other. Yeah. So I used to catch her sneaking cookies when she ain't had no business.
Jeez.
I tried to put that cookie down. She's like, I already licked it though.
Yeah. Have you tried the peach Red Bull? I have not. I do mostly sugar-free everything. So
no,
I haven't. The last one that we both were excited about was sugar-free pear, and now it's gone. So if I do a Red Bull, I'll do the Red Bull Zero. Red Bull sugar-free is not at all. Yeah. But I'll do the zero every now and again.
I do loaded, like.
And we can tell it's sugar, it's caffeine, it's
Y'all, I'll tell you, like, this is a day where I need a Red Bull, but the show goes, when I drink Red Bulls, the show goes way different. Yeah, I'll be on 100. Speaking of 100,
100.
Let's pay these 100 bills that we got. So, y'all, as always, the XrossroadZ Podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
It's the house.
For all your business branding and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is Black owned, it is woman owned, it is Black woman owned, and it is amazing. And make sure you move quickly because the house does fill up fast. The XrossroadZ is also brought to you by the XrossroadZ. So you can go to our bit.ly, that's bit.ly/the XrossroadZ, XrossroadZ, for all of our information there, all of our social media, and everything else that we're doing that we have coming up. If you want to email us with any topics or you want to be a guest on the show, you can send us an email at crossroadspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to donate to the show, we are so thankful to all of our donors that keep this show going and making it possible. You can go to the bit.ly and go to our donor link. We appreciate a little, we appreciate a lot, but we appreciate it all. So, this is a labor of love, and love ain't free. And if you think it is, go tell your landlord that you love them. And it is the first. So it is a lot. I gotta, as soon as we sign off, I gotta go tell my landlord, hey, I love you.
Don't count on that.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what's love got to do with it?
Right.
So also, all of you guys that are tuned in are watching this on YouTube. So what we need you to do is scroll down. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Click the bell so you can get notifications to when we are going live and when our pre-recorded episodes air. And that way you can keep up with everything that we're doing and never miss an episode. So yeah.
And we're so close to the next goal, right?
The next
like
goal.
Double digits.
So
double digits.
Y'all, okay, so look, we're gonna call y'all out by name right now because we need you to do something. Brooke, Jasmine, Cameron, we need y'all to share this link right now on your pages, on your Instagram, on your Facebook. Share it now. Get your friends to subscribe. We are so close to our next goal, and we want to make sure that we hit that goal, and we can't do it without you. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. We appreciate the engagement and the love. So bring others on so that can have the same experience as well, and we can keep this cracking.
Amen. And we're gonna celebrate. We got to think of something really, really good when we hit this goal too.
We'll do some giveaways.
Okay, I'm with it.
Don't ask me what. Right. I know that's what she said.
We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about
She's
that.
gonna be like, you can't just keep be on the show. I was like, I guess we got to go get something to give away now, huh?
Yeah.
Spending money.
I'm with it. It's because it'll help us make money. Thank you, Jazz. Faithful folks. We appreciate you. We absolutely.
That's why y'all are roadies and road dogs, because y'all gonna ride with us. So. Speaking of road dogs, Dre is gonna be driving most of the way today because these topics is hers, except for one. I got one topic.
I was like, well, if you leave it up to me, it's one that
And I'm gonna
I'll follow you.
I'm gonna tell you, David is not well after that. With what's going
on. Oh, okay.
When we get to that part, I'll talk to him. He's not well.
Yeah. Okay, well, hi everybody. We're just gonna travel through a couple of topics this evening. We absolutely want your feedback and engage with us. So if you can use the chat feature, go ahead and do that. We feature your comments here, and you are actually a part of the conversation with us. So we're starting on more of a somber note. Unfortunately, yesterday there were reports of at least 2 losses. One was Paul Rubens, and many of us know him better as Pee Wee Herman. Definitely 80s, 70s, 80s, maybe a little early 90s kids, like just a sprinkle experience, Pee Wee Herman and just the phenomenon that he was in our childhood. And so he passed away yesterday at 70 years old and had been battling cancer, which I don't know that I knew that. So definitely prayers to his family and friends and all of us that are experiencing this collective loss. And then we continue to do so, right? Like so many of our, childhood heroes or the singers that we grew up with, actors, so on and so forth, are going on. So definitely, prayers for his family. And additionally, Angus Cloud, who better known, those of you who watch Euphoria, as Fezco, and one of, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most beloved, if not the most beloved, character on the show. Did you watch Euphoria? Okay, so I was late to the party. Yeah, I was late to the party, and I think when it was on break between season 1 and season 2, I caught up so that I was ready for season 2. It's a heavy show. Definitely those of you with children and teenagers, you're probably going to be triggered. I wanted to call everybody's kids, like, what are you into? What are you doing? But a phenomenal show. I believe that they may be coming back for a third season. Same, Kim. I was just like, what? He was 25 years old. And so, yes, as a character, very beloved. But again, this is someone's, son, brother, friend. Now, the cause of death has not been confirmed. There's always stories out there, but what has been confirmed is that he buried his dad just last week and was having a really hard time with that. So the inferences are that things took place because he was unable to really grasp reality of that loss or be able to deal with that, which again, anyone who has lost a parent or even just a lost period, grief is something else. And we don't know any other contributing factors. So again, prayers for that family as well, the cast, fans, any and everyone that are affected by those losses. So
yeah. So my condolences to all. Thinking about Paul, aside from that one, can't even call it a scandal, incident that we famously know about, it's just crazy how big a phenomenon he was. And I think we forget, like, the shows, the movies, the products, the clothes, you know what I mean, the songs,
big. Yes.
And I can recall I forgot whose class we was in, but when I was in junior high, it was a teacher we didn't like, so we pranked the teacher, and we had a word of the day. I forgot the word. So for those who aren't familiar, for some of our younger audience members, on the show Pee-wee's Playhouse, it was a kids show, and part of the show was there was always a word of the day. And anytime somebody came on the set or came to Pee-wee's Playhouse to visit, and they said the word of the day, everybody starts screaming like out of nowhere. It's like, like, it was the bells going off and stuff like that. And people are looking confused, like, oh, it must be the word of the day. So the teacher's teaching, and every time she said the word of the day, we all just started going off.
It's hard to be a teacher, I'm so sure, even to this day, but definitely doing something like that.
So the problem is, being in education and me being in charge of discipline, I'll get something like that happens, I'll get called to the class. Now, the problem with having me as an administrator over discipline is, if what you did was funny, you don't get in as much trouble. Because I'm a child. Look, I'm a big, like, I'm very serious, and I take my work very serious. So the kids are often like, Mr. H, do you smile? Do you ever smile? You always so. But I also joke too, like, when I'm allowed to kind of let my guard down, right? But if you get sent to my office, I got to get my laugh out first. Or if you get sent back, I'll call somebody and I'll be like, because I have a friend, she was one of my teachers, and we talk about this all the time. I had one of my students, this boy stayed in trouble. Like, I ain't never had a kid get in so much trouble as him, but he's probably my favorite student ever. Right? It's a couple of things. So he did something in class, and she's getting on his case or whatever. And she told him to do something. He stepped, and he was like, "You talking to me like I'm your baby daddy or something?" She called me. Listen, she called me. She was like, "Come get this boy." She mad, right? And I'm like,
my Lord.
when
I don't know if I would have
I was in my office cracking up. So then he gets sent again a little while, like not the same day, but he gets sent again. And he had thrown a pencil he got mad and threw a pencil at the teacher, right? And so I'm like, dude, you know, now I gotta suspend you. I don't want to suspend you, but I got to. He was like, what am I getting suspended for? I was like, because you threw a pencil at the teacher. He was like, I ain't hit her though. And I was like, what does that mean?
Are too smart for their own.
Yeah. He's like, you act, but he wasn't even being a smart ass. It was legit. He was like, y'all acting like I hit her. I didn't hit her though. I missed. I was like, that's not the point.
That's not the point.
But he didn't get it. He's like, hey, I missed. So should none be? So I reduced the sentence a little bit. He still got suspended though.
You didn't help.
You gotta give him points for trying. Like if your logic is almost sound, then you know you might. But I didn't mean to be laughing. But Pee Wee Herman brings us joy. Also note that all young men now dress like Pee Wee Herman voluntarily.
Oh Jesus! Right. After all those years,
all these years of clowning Pee Wee Herman, now people dress like minus the shoes, and that's probably coming.
It's next, yeah.
So,
this goes to show, you never know the quirky things about you or the things that you think, aren't a big deal, won't wind up being a part of pop culture forever.
You think 90s dress is gonna come back around with the huge clothes and the?
I hope not. Because now I look back, I'm like, that was ridiculous. But
you couldn't tell us nothing.
No,
hammer pants, rayon shirts, polka dots,
tees, and long jerseys wound up in the 2000s. But
shorts literally look like pants. So
yeah, to your ankles. Your ankles.
Like you can wear a size 48 and then sag, 48 short jean shorts.
Right. All right. Well, again, we extend our condolences here at the Crossroads. So yeah, it was hot this past weekend. Shout out to Vegas and those who were there. Our next kind of two topics were around weekends in Vegas. So if you were in Vegas, let us know. Holla, shout out to Vegas. I'm on my way actually. So in this weekend, I'm excited about that. Not the heat though, but it is what it is. It's not much different from where I am now. But over the weekend, Cardi B was playing at Dre's Beach Club. And there was a video clip that started to circulate with a fan throwing what could be assumed as water, but we don't know what the substance is. So liquid from a cup flung out into the stage, hitting Cardi B. And she immediately responded by throwing the microphone like dead at the person, right? Like not, I wonder if I hit her. Like, no, like down and with force. And unfortunately, the microphone ricocheted off the person into somebody else. It probably hit a couple people, but you can definitely see it hitting somebody that didn't have anything to do with it. So I remember seeing it and being like, dang, that's what she get, because, there's actually been quite a few instances where these fans are throwing things on the stages at performers and so on and so forth. And so when I saw it, I was just like, that's whack. Like to even do that to anybody, period. Well, social media never really gives you the full story. They give you what piece they want you to know. And so now the story has kind of unfolded, if you will, that Cardi B actually was asking the audience, because it was triple-digit numbers this weekend in Vegas, like to throw water at her, like to cool her down, if you will. Now, I'm not sure if when the the person that got the mic to the head, I don't know if they were late to the party, if they just felt like, I'm gonna do this to stand out way after everybody else has done it, but it didn't work on her behalf. I don't know if dudes could do it and not women.
It was a woman that did it?
Yes. Okay. So I'm not really sure what made it different. That's why I was asking if anybody was in Vegas and can help us fill in the blanks. But yeah, she got tagged with the microphone. And since then, a police report has been filed against Cardi B where she can potentially face battery charges as a result of that. It's also not clear if it's the person that actually threw the liquid or if it's the person that got it as a result of, standing too close. But either way, that story is developing. So what do you think?
The only way that makes sense to me is that whatever the substance was thrown was not water. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that was it. Now, I'm on record with some of my feelings about Cardi B, on my same energy tour.
Oh yeah, that's true. Also during all of this, because she had to break performance mode. Right. She was lip syncing. Now, a lot of people do, but I think, folks was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a pass on the lip. So here's the thing. She probably was. We don't even call it lip syncing no more because it's actually pretty common now, especially for big venues or outside venues, for artists to rhyme along with a vocal track.
Minus Jadakiss. Go ahead. and the lines they were like, we will not.
Okay.
We're not doing it.
Tucci. Okay. So. But yeah, that's not uncommon these days at all. So it is what it is. But what's the police she hit after that?
Well, that's bad if she has two possible battery charges.
Listen, you got to be careful what you do. You know what I mean? Like an audience, you just can't do whatever you want to do. I don't know. That's kind of hard to interpret because all that was news to me as far as like, hey, she told us to do it. Maybe somebody put a battery in old girl back and, because I didn't see anybody else doing it. You just see like that one. So.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I was like, maybe it was after the fact, right? Like you're having a moment and then you go into actual performance and then somebody.
But I'm surprised, like it's an outside event. It's Cardi. I'm sure there's way more cell phone videos out there than this one that we just keep seeing. Mm-hmm. So if she said that, I'm sure there's video of that. Somebody, you know what I'm saying?
No. I did see the video, but I have not seen a video of all of it together. I saw the video of throw water at me. I saw a video of somebody responding, like you said, the only one, and getting hit with a microphone. I've not seen them together. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, was there a lot of time that passed by between?
So when she said it, because I haven't seen that video. So when she said it, did people start doing it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it wasn't overwhelming because she wasn't like soaking wet, So I think, it was like splash or a little splash. She even went and turned her butt to somebody and told them to, we're not gonna get too graphic, but you can imagine what she was saying. Right? Yeah. So there was a moment but she wasn't performing. I think she was kind of like walking the stage and engaging. By the time I saw the second video, which was actually the first one I saw, it was, she responded aggressively. So it would make you think that, she got hit with the liquid unexpectedly, didn't ask for anything, minding my own business type situation.
Right. Because that's what I initially thought. Yeah, that's weird. That's Yeah, I don't know. Folks wild. Yeah. So
I think that's different from the other things that we've seen, which, you've had people rush the stage with, in the case of Dave Chappelle, you've had folks throw stuff on stage with Harry Styles, a couple of other people, which is ridiculous, to do that to anybody.
Yeah, people
and expect that they're just going to be like,
oh, cool. Okay. Right. Yeah. Now, it's a lot of people that got batteries in their back. but you get a little fan, Cardi. Get somebody to get you a little spray, but you know, get you a little spritz, something. There you see. Yeah. You know what
On
I'm saying?
hand.
Your
Do
little
what you gotta
personal
do.
spray. Exactly. But nah, I think folks got to be careful, especially when you're a celebrity and a high profile celebrity at that. You can't just do things, you know, and it's not fair because you're not going to get met with the same treatment as somebody else, right?
Right.
You know, now while you have the luxury of being able to travel with certain protections around you and teams and stuff like that, which the average person doesn't to protect you from danger, when you act or respond in certain ways, it's going to come back to you in ways that it's not going to come back to the average person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because now it's, oh, I'm suing. As a matter of fact, there's a video of this cat trying to call out Gunna. You know, like Gunna and his security was coming into somewhere, and dude is like, oh, here come that rat. You know what I'm saying? And so security walked up on him like, what you say?
Oh,
you know, he was like, say it. He's like, say it. Repeat what you just said. He was like, I said what I wanted to say. He was like, no, but repeat it though.
Let's say it again.
Yeah. And he was like, nah, so y'all can you whoop, and I sue the hell out of y'all. I'm like, he said, so dude didn't do anything. Like he was talking like, oh, I don't give a F. Whoop. But you know, which was smart because Gunna just walked by and the security. Now, had the security done it, it wouldn't have been the security dude. You know what I'm saying? That was coming out the clock and getting in trouble. It would have been, you know what I'm saying? So one, you got to be careful what you do, and you also have to be careful of who you roll with because the actions of your people or your team also is going to come back on you as well. So it's cold game out here in these celebrity streets. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure I talk to my security team before I leave the house. You know, look, hey, we just making sure we keeping it safe, we keeping it cool. You know, we don't respond unless we have to. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I mean,
that's true. I mean, just for your average person like you and me, exactly. We gotta keep your head on a swivel and also, you know, try to de-escalate as much as possible because people are crazy.
Right. So yeah, Big Snooki and Coco will get you. Or like no on Class Act Fruity and Go-Go.
Right. Oh, I love that movie. That was a good movie.
I do too. Duncan Penderhughes.
Duncan Penderhughes. Yeah. If you're old enough to remember, if you know, you know.
Right. You know. I don't know if these millennials is up on Class Act, but or Kid and Play for that matter.
Yeah, well, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. Go on to one of these streaming apps, I'm sure. I think probably like Max might have it. Or try YouTube. You can look out sometimes and get these movies on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to pass the baton over to you.
Yeah, so over the weekend, y'all.
Good for you.
Okay. It was a huge fight that happened over the weekend, a sanctioned fight in a ring where you had Errol Spence Jr., Errol the Truth Spence Jr.
The truth.
The truth. He got lied on.
Have mercy.
Or he got the truth told because Terrence Bud Crawford. So one, let me just to set up like this was to unify the belts, and the winner is to become the undisputed welterweight champion. And so Spence has 2 of the belts, Crawford had 1. And this was such an evenly matched fight going into the fight, right? Spence was 28-0, Bud was 39-0, and everything else. Spence was like the naturally bigger dude. He's nice with it. They both nice with it. So it was so hard to predict this fight. You know, you had like there was no clear, oh, Crawford gonna win, Spence gonna win. It was literally like half and half, and there was an argument for both. So even the ones that were going for one or the other, they weren't even sure. It was like, yeah, I think Bud gonna win. Like it wasn't passionate. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, we don't know what's about to happen, right? This was probably one of the most evenly matched big fights in a long time. Okay. And it didn't turn out the way folks thought. It just, y'all, So first round, Errol came out and Spence won the first round, actually, right? He came out, he was looking sharp, he was looking nice. Bud didn't look bad, but he just, Spence was working more in that first round. And that was it.
Grand opening.
Because for the grand opening, because listen, from rounds 2 to 9, Bud whooped this boy's ass like I ain't seen nobody get their ass whooped in a long time. Like, you don't see ass whoopings like this very often. I think Floyd and Arturo Gatti, that was a pretty bad ass whooping, right? Mm-hmm. And there's probably a couple others, but it was just complete domination. Bud could not miss. It's almost like Errol was giving him his head to hit. Like this, and Errol, a little pretty boy, right? I saw a couple of ladies like, I was only going for Spence because I think he cute, right? When he wasn't cute no more.
He wasn't cute afterwards, huh?
Yikes. This boy's face by the 4th round was so bloody and beat up, and he
went 9. Sheesh.
And he went 9. So Bud put him down in the 2nd round. This was the first time Spence had ever been down in his career. He had never been knocked down. Man. And then he got up, and I think he was shook after that. A lot of people are speculating what his mind state was going into this fight. Like, some people think he was high. I actually saw a video of doctors talking about like his eyes looked glassed over before the fight, as if he was smoking. Some people pointed to I think a couple years ago, if not longer, he was in a very, very bad car accident as well, where the car like split. It's a video of it where the car was like like tumbling. So I'm surprised he even survived that. But he's fought since then. So that's not an excuse. Like, Bud just whooped his ass. Like, it was so bad. And so I've seen fights where somebody has lost pretty bad, and then they pull out the Martin meme from when he fought Tommy Hearns.
He got lumped up. Yeah,
he got lumped up, and his head is all big, and people like, that's funny. Like,
I saw that on Twitter.
The crazy part is Spence actually looked like Martin.
Look like that.
Like, I wish I would have sent you a picture so we could show, like, y'all. So if y'all can look for the meme, just look at Errol Spence's face after this fight, and with Martin, it's crazy how this boy got lumped up. Like, his face got tenderized. And so it was so bad. You had some pundits saying that he should retire. It was like, it's only one loss, but they was like, yeah, you probably need to retire after that, because it was that bad. And so I'm gonna pick on him right now. I didn't tell him I was gonna talk about him. So
okay. I think I see. I have one. Let me see if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it big enough to cover the whole page, but
gotcha.
Y'all will see my search. But let's see. Right, yeah. This. Yeah. I'm assuming this was after the fight. I hope this is after.
Yeah, that's at the press conference.
Yeah, his eyes.
He don't look like that in real life.
Oh my god!
Like, if you see a picture of how he looks before the fight, and then you see that picture, like, you see how dejected he looked. So my dad is a huge Errol Spence fan, right? For years, like, back. Oh, you gotta see this boy Errol Spence. This boy bad. Ain't nobody. So this fight came up, and I'm like, who you think gonna win? Spence gonna whoop that boy. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, Bud, it's the truth, Pop. I don't like that. So like, Pops is passionate about it, right? So I'm watching the fight, and he wasn't watching the fight. He was following it, and I called him. He's like, yeah, I'm following it. I saw him. I was like, hey, this is. It was so, like, one, I love talking shit to my dad. Like, I love antagonizing him.
Of course.
It brings me joy. It's because he's just so funny, right? I couldn't even do it. It just wouldn't even fair. It wasn't even fun to brag about this one, because it was so, I felt sorry for dude, right? But the next day, I called. My dad was at home, just still not, he wasn't well. You know how I get about the Lakers, right? This is how my dad was after this fight.
Oh, hey, I know what it's like when the person or the people you're rooting for don't.
Yeah, listen, my dad was hurt. Like my I was right. He was like, I don't even want to watch boxing.
Oh yeah, he was really hurt. He was really hurt.
I was like, oh. He's not, and my dad's not. I'm probably the only person he ever gambles with. So we'll place a gentleman's bet every now and then. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, did you put money on it? Did you mortgage the house on this? Like,
right. Should I be concerned?
He was hurt. He was like, let's talk about something else. Change the subject.
I get it.
And all that did was maybe want to talk about it more.
Yeah.
I was like, but I'm sure he cried in the car.
Yeah.
And my dad probably cried right along with him. Like he matter of fact, he said he had a dream about the fight.
Oh, he laughing too hard. He probably watching too.
He had nightmares.
Oh, yeah. I hope he didn't.
I'm sorry, Dad. Listen, Dad, I love you. I'm sorry.
He's not sorry. No, he's not. Look how he's laughing. He is not sorry. He's doing a little too much.
You had to be there. That's the alcohol. I'm laughing. I'm lying. I was laughing like this on the phone.
I know you were. And probably more so when you hung up.
Oh yeah. Listen, I don't mean to. I swear to God, y'all. Sometimes I do it on purpose, but 90% of the time, I do not mean to get on my dad's nerves the way that I do. It's genetic. It's innate. My existence irritates this man so much.
My Lord.
All right, we can go to, because I'll be laughing for the next hour thinking about this conversation. But yeah.
Well, for anyone else that got their heart broken this weekend, I've never seen either of them fight, but I follow.
Well, you wouldn't have seen Errol fight that night because he wouldn't.
With Cam and Mace, and they were talking about it, and I think Mace said he was going for Crawford, and so I remembered that. I was like, oh, let me go and check and see. So I saw the very end, but I didn't see the totality of the fight because they could have been anybody to me. Like I had no clue.
Yeah, he got knocked down in the second, then he got knocked down twice in the 7th round.
Oh man!
And then they ended up stopping it in the 9th round.
Yeah, I saw the ref was just like,
like
nah. He was dazed and confused.
I don't know if it's true, but somebody said he had internal bleeding in his face.
I could believe it. Everything was really like red, like you said, red, swollen, and it could have been. It could have been
like somebody just put a steak on your face, and
it looked,
I feel and
you can't imagine like what type of shape you're in the day after, because
physically he'll be fine, I'm sure, but like mentally, because he did. I think there was a rematch clause. And everybody's like, don't nobody want to see that again? Like,
no faith that he could do it again? No. Get back up again? No. Okay.
No, not like if there was a close fight, if it went to the decision, or it was a close fight and then he got caught with one, something like that. But like that type of dominance, that one-sided, like he wasn't even in Bud's league. It was yeah, so
who would he fight next? Do you know?
Well, they'll likely fight each other in a few months, around probably December.
Oh, they are gonna still do a rematch.
Yeah, it's in the contract. It's in the contract, okay. So they'll likely fight again.
Okay, I'll be paying attention this time.
I hope Errol is paying attention this time, because
oh gosh,
yeah, it was bad. So yeah. Shout out to, and I don't dislike Errol. It's just sometimes the jokes come. So hopefully, the next fight is more competitive.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see what we shall see in a couple of months. But for now, all 3 belts have been united. Is what you're saying? So
undisputed.
Undisputed.
Yeah, he's undisputed now in 2 weight divisions. So he's the first person in history to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, shout out to Mr. Crawford.
All right,
we like history making out here. Bud.
Yeah, Bud.
All right. Well, let's we're gonna wrap up with this topic. I don't know why I was about to call her Sora or somebody. I think my brain is just it's just always there, I think. But Tina Knowles and Richard Lawson.
Richard Lawson.
What movie is that, y'all? What movie is that?
I almost just said it too.
Yeah.
Richard Lawson.
Lawson.
I'll give y'all a hint. Richard Lawson was there celebrating, and what was he celebrating? Ding 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 ding! Find the boy.
Yes, Richard Lawson.
Richard.
Anywho,
before you even do that, what would you have done as best friends if I would have got that text with the switched phones and I'm like, "Hey, you coming with me?"
I probably would have like today. No, either any day, I think I would still be rolling. But
would you
probably
be
rolling
nervous,
to make yes, I'd be rolling to make sure that you didn't do nothing crazy.
You think I would
back in the day? I would have been rolling for the shenanigans. Now I'm like, please, no shenanigans.
So, what do you think I would do in that situation?
It probably would be some laying on of the hands to whoever. Richard Lawson was about to get it. All right. Yes, brown sugar. Yeah, Barzini's temper is not, once he gets over the line, it's over. So I would probably be there to try my best to keep him.
Yeah,
contained.
I don't.
Because if we walked into a restaurant and some dude was singing love songs to his wife I don't think that would go well. Or civilly. I just don't think.
Yeah, I can't call it. I might, I might be to either extreme. I might act unbothered. I mean, I'll clearly be bothered, but I might act like, this. Okay,
that's what we doing.
Yeah, all right, cool. All right, I'll see you at home. Okay, y'all finish up though. Matter of fact, it's on me. It's probably on me anyway. But
oh Lord, that's even worse.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Or it could be what you described. So,
yeah.
I definitely don't like being at that level. You've seen it. It's hard to come down.
Yeah.
I didn't get arrested though, y'all. I didn't.
Thank God for growth.
Maybe. I've not been in
maybe. Well, thank God nothing bad happened that day.
Yeah, because
we all wound up home. We all went home.
Yeah, because and it was like the night before. It was at it was a going away function.
Going away.
Yeah. So things might have been different had I not come down. All right. Yeah. So shout out for growth. But Mama Knowles,
and
or Lawson.
Mama Knowles Lawson.
Yeah, she didn't.
Well, from what I heard, she did. She became Tina Lawson and is now petitioning to go back to Knowles. And I was like, sis, now, why don't you go back to whatever your mom and daddy's gave you? Why are you making a pit stop back at Knowles? Someone said, "Oh, that's her kid's last name." I'm like, they're not kids. Like,
they finna be.
I mean, okay, but also.
Like Blue about to be 27 years old. Talking about kids.
Yeah.
But
back to her kids. But whatever's clever. But these two have been married for, I believe, like 8 years or so. And Mama Tina has been through some things, at least, as far as what's been put out to the public. Of course, she was married to Matthew Knowles, Beyonce and Solange's daddy. And, he was unfaithful on more than one occasion. And as far as we know, now I looked up and saw that 2 babies were made. But once we heard about one, she was out of the door. They had already, I think, started divorce proceedings and then kind of backed out. And then we heard about this kid and then it was Splitsville. So, of course, everybody felt away, like these people, like we know them, right? But everybody feels away. And she wound up getting remarried to someone that, depending on how aware you are of like soap operas, he's been in, various movies, TV shows. Richard Lawson is a familiar face, even if you don't necessarily know his name. Good looking older gentleman. So, it looked like it could be a thing. Everybody's waiting for Beyonce to say something. Like, is Beyonce with it?
She don't know she's not. Listen, she don't watch her sister beat up her husband in the elevator and didn't say nothing about it. You think she's gonna say something about somebody else's relationship?
Well, I'm just saying that's what, people were kind of looking for the okay. And, it looked like it was good. Blue Ivy, being there with her grandma and her step grandpa. I don't know. But yeah, over the years, you saw them out at various outings or making appearances. Of course, when he's doing movies or TV, they're doing things together, various organizations and philanthropy and all of that. And so, we didn't hear anything. At least I didn't. And then there was the Black Love docuseries on OWN. And so if you've never seen it, it was a docuseries. So I think it ran for like 6 seasons, where you saw Black couples come together and talk about, life, parenthood, so on and so forth, being married, and many celebrity couples that we know and love, and unfortunately, many couples who are now divorced. And so social media is like putting together the photo collage, if you will, of all the folks that did not make it.
They need to do a follow-up series called Black Divorce.
Where are they now?
Right.
So yeah, so during that run of that show, the two of them appeared, and there's a clip that's pretty familiar. If you haven't seen it, you can absolutely look it up. Google Tina Knowles, Richard Lawson, Black Love. I'm sure it'll come up. And, she's talking about really writing down or being aware of all of the things that she wanted in a man. And so she's talking, and so she said, he's not perfect, but I pretty much got everything that I wanted. And he's like, I'm not? Or he's like, no. And she's like, no. Right now, she did put the little stank on no. But she said, I pretty much got everything I wanted. So I didn't understand why he had an attitude, because honestly, nobody's perfect. That's not just a cliche. Nobody is perfect.
I saw that, and I think my feeling was like she could have said that, right? Like, I mean, she said what she felt. Okay, whatever. But like, nobody's perfect, babe. Oh yeah, you're right. But no, like, absolutely not. Like,
but she had already qualified it with, I got everything that I asked for. But that didn't matter.
It was kind of an emphasis on the drawbacks, though. Like, like, no, like it was.
Well, he was not happy, because his face was like,
yeah, I probably do, like, because I was like,
for the rest of
it.
Yeah, like, I was like, dang, he can't even pull it. He's an actor and can't even pull it together.
Nah, them feelings was real and in the moment. He was channeling. But like, yeah, if she would have said, well, like, just like nobody's perfect, and just like, yeah.
Well, the bit heard round the world, right? So everybody is saying, hey, this is probably when it fell apart. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but we're seeing that. Jasmine says the body language, like she couldn't believe he would have the thought. Now that's true. She was like, right. Are you kidding me? And not as an outsider, I think I had the same thought, right? Like, why would you even
think.
Why would you even set yourself up for that, right? Because nobody's part. That's what I was thinking, but I can definitely see how, he would have his feelings hurt or be embarrassed that, like you said, she would emphasize the drawbacks, the heavy on the no,
and did it quickly, and did it quick.
Oh, yeah.
No, like no, and it kind of stayed there for a minute. Like you didn't just. It was,
Yeah, maybe we're right. If she would have said no, but nobody's perfect, that could have filled some of that tension because it was
thick.
It was like, oh my Lord.
Let me go on.
So I didn't know much about their story, and I don't know how many of you did or do, but apparently Richard Lawson, had been hanging on, waiting on Miss Tina since 1981 when she was baking young Beyonce. So he was introduced to her, I believe, by his sister. And so he said, he was taken aback. She was breathtaking. She was one of the most beautiful, women that he had ever seen, but she was married and pregnant. And if I'm not mistaken, he was married too, or he might have been like newly divorced. Like it might have just been in a transition or right before his situation was going.
So let's lean into that right there, because that's a second situation that you hear from that, right? So he's married, and then they come out professing love, like, oh, I wanted you since then when you was like, and Steve Harvey the same way when they talk about when he met what's his wife, Marjorie. Yeah, talking about, he said that back in long time ago. He 90s, saw her, yeah, and he was married. He seen her married. I'm gonna marry you. Like, you a married dude saying this, you know what I'm saying? So
trash.
Now granted, like, you could be unhappily married, whatever, but like,
but you might want to just keep that to yourself. Like, is that something that we have to know? If you saw somebody and you thought they were because, and we've talked about this too, just because you're married or you're in a relationship, you're not blind. Okay. So if you happen to see somebody that you think is attractive, that happens
right
often, I'm sure. Right. But for whatever reason, your situation doesn't work out, their situation doesn't work out, you have a chance. Maybe you express that to them. I guess you could, like, girl, I've been looking at you since, we was kids, or whatever the case may be. But why you have to tell other people? Because of course the assumption is, oh, well, while you were married to your wife, or while she was still married, because also it wasn't like, oh, I saw her, she was married, and I went on. They talk about actually being friends. Like, oh yeah, he knows Matthew, and
right.
I mean, Matthew has turned out to be,
a liar.
I'm not Kate.
And a cheat.
Right. And I don't want
you. I don't want you.
What movie is that? We can't give you no names.
Right now, okay. So you feel how you feel about folks, right? Like, you see somebody and it's like, damn, how you act upon those is much different. Like, Steve sitting there telling the woman, like, oh, I'm gonna marry you, like you got a whole wife, right?
Yeah,
it's like you just publicly gave up on your marriage. It could have been on the rocks, but as a woman hearing that from somebody, how do you then take a man knowing the behavior while he's married, right? Like, this is what you did when you was not necessarily that he pursued her, but you said it, so you mentally pursued her.
Right actress, wrong movie. Right actress, wrong movie. So let's try again.
Right, yeah.
It's on her resume. It's on her.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. That's just weird to me.
It is weird.
Now you can have
because what is she supposed to do with that information? Like, oh, this man.
Well, I mean, I'd probably tell her, like, after I've already married her, like, look, I'm gonna just share something with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. After, if you guys, whatever your situations are, don't work out, and you wind up together, and you want to share that with each other, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But sharing it beforehand or sharing it to the public, okay, that's also on her resume.
That's on her resume too, but no. Jasmine was closer with her guess.
Here it comes. Yes. So the American dream. American dream. Jackson.
Hey, when Kiki did her though, and she be doing them lips, you will lie. And you would cheat.
And you would cheat. And I don't want you. Good old Angela Bassett, child.
Listen, that woman is still fine. Listen, I'm gonna say this now because I'm not married.
I'm about to say,
because I ain't married.
You gonna tell her she gonna be your wife, and she got a whole.
I'm not gonna disrespect Courtney that bad, but I'm on record saying that woman fine, you know. And I don't really do the large age gaps, well, too large, but for her, I will make all the exceptions. Cause you know, like, and she classy too, just, you know. Now she could be a complete shrew in real life.
We don't know these people. You know, and it's so funny. We see them play these characters, and you're just like, oh, they seem so cool. And then they wind up being
like, because the crazy part is you got to go far to find a black woman that doesn't have a picture of the Obamas on her social media, right? Selfie, Obamas, and it's always in the profile pics. It's never just like in the regular. It's in the profile pics, right? And you hear it was funny, like watching Michelle do an interview, and she's the one that's like, when people talked about happiness, because the Obamas is always goals for everybody. Oh, goals. And she was like, who said you're going to be happy all the time? Right. And like, it's hard to picture Barack getting on her nerves. You know, he does. Right. Like, I just wonder what he does, because his public persona, he's always just so poised and calculated.
I mean, he probably tries to be the president at the house. That would be one thing. Like, turn that down.
Yeah. And then I can't imagine how she gets on his nerves, right? Like, because she doesn't seem like a nagger, but you know, she just seems like she like I can't.
Well, also I think in listening to her, you know, they've worked through that. Right now, what they give off is probably something totally different than when they were without kids, or when they were first raising their kids and rode to the White House, and then the transition to the, you know, inside the White House. So I think that's a compliment that, you know, we can't see, even though, you know, people still have issues, but they're probably very small now compared to what they could have been, you know.
Yeah. So it's almost like that nonchalant being get on.
It could be because he's very.
Why do y'all? I'm very nonchalant too, in just like life. But why is that so annoying?
I don't think it's about life. It's about when we have something to deal with. Like, no, I don't want you being nonchalant when we have an issue.
You need me to be chalant.
You got to be chalant.
She's like, I need all the chalants.
Chalant on, okay? Don't.
I just saw a video. She was on the phone. She was like, the look on your face when you call your husband complaining about your job, and he just start giving you sound logical advice that'll probably work, but you wanted him to complain with you, and it's like, this over. Like, why are you even here? Like, and so he's like, nah.
Gotta give the energy. Gotta give some energy. And so if he's just like, yeah, okay, that's probably not okay.
Ain't no sense in both of us being stressed out and fired up. Like,
I understand. I'm just answering your question.
Listen, you know. I mean, I'm a what? That bitch crazy. What?
I mean, participate. That's fine. You don't have to have a song and dance. I'm saying more so like if the two of them have an issue. If I have an issue by myself and I'm telling you about it, you know, a good amount to let me know that you are at least tuned in to a part of what I'm saying. Because also I know y'all don't take in the details like we do. It's just like, Okay, she mad at somebody, and should I be mad at them too? That's like at the end of the day, you're looking for what's wrong with you and what do I need to do.
So I
all
hope
the stuff in the middle.
I hope nobody that I'll ever date in the future or have something with is watching this show right now, because I'm gonna say what I used to do in a relationship. I would not be listening to these stories, right?
Yeah.
I'll tune in just enough to get enough details to repeat it back wrong, so you can just give me the cliff notes, right? So you tell this whole long story, and after I'm like, what? So Teresa told Lisa that John was cheating? No. John had told Lisa that he was going to cheat if she didn't blah 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 blah. Oh, got it. Let's move on.
Yeah. Now, I mean, and women are smart enough. We know this is not new news. So yeah, we don't expect you to. Now, I am very blessed. My husband's an active listener to the point where I have to remember what I said.
Because he's messy.
I'm like, shoot, did I say that? Because he's gonna remember. He's gonna remember the details. But for the most part, you know, you guys are, or if he's tired and you know, there's already stuff going on, and me adding my guess what happened today story might not get all the details, but enough, like you said, for you guys to be able to know, like, how do I maneuver. But if the two of you are at odds or on different sides of an issue, and you know, the guy is just like,
the crazy part is
whatever. It's like, you better engage this conversation.
Here's the crazy part, because when y'all talk about like reality or what something happened to work on the homegirls, we like whatever. Now, add that to a sports scenario, it could be the same drama, right? But add athletes into it. Oh, like change the girls' names to athletes,
or maybe somebody you guys know, right? Like if we're talking about Lisa or whatever at the job you never met, but if it's like, you know, somebody that you met or somebody that you know, because y'all like gossip. Don't try to act like y'all don't.
Listen, nah, because we like it because it's funny, especially if it's somebody that be coming to the house, because we like to take little jabs. Like you know, say Lisa done got chlamydia because she cheated on John.
Oh, Jesus.
Then you gonna have some random but very.
He will be like, "Don't have Lisa and her chlamydia over here."
Nah. He gonna be like, they gonna come over like, why y'all got lawn chairs in the inside?
He'd be like, she's absolutely not coming over here.
She tried to say that. He like, hold on. She's like, what? Yeah. Why is he saging the place? He don't have. I didn't know he was into that. Like,
girl, it's you.
Yeah,
it's you.
So, yeah, that's. But if it's familiar, we'll pay a little bit more attention. But if we're not, you got to put some familiar characters in there for us. You know what I'm saying? And even
all right, ladies, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. But anyways, Mama Tina goes to file for divorce last week. Like I said, you know, he's kind of been hanging on, holding on, waiting in the wings, friends, or maybe legit friends. And then they get married. Everything seems to be going well. And just shy of 10 years, they are now headed to divorce court. And
I think she's contesting spousal support as well.
Yeah. Like you leave with your raggedy duffel bag and I'll stay where I am. So okay, here was the next thing, child. I'm on Twitter and people were like, have y'all seen Richard Lawson's Twitter likes? Now, I'll be into people's Twitter likes, but I had to think about it sometimes too. Not that it's anything sorted, but sometimes it's random. Like you hit a heart about something or whatever. And I'm like, I wonder what my likes look like. Let me go scroll through and see. Especially after that whole thing with Carly Russell, where your searches can be, you know, whatever.
Right.
But anyways, somebody screenshot themselves scrolling through his likes, and it was just all porn. Like just I was like, I could have done without this at 8:30 in the morning. Like, just
Richard Lawson.
So now I could not verify, not that I would have, but I couldn't verify because apparently Richard Lawson had cleaned, cleared his cache, if you will.
All dudes are the worst at social media.
But he had told
I had to make a couple of calls to some people like, hey, we can see that.
We can see that. Oh my God. I have to tell you this one offline, but I saw something. I was like, I definitely don't think this person knows that we can see.
I have to.
This.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so yes, for anybody that's watching, your likes are public. People can see them. Sometimes it's pushed to your followers. That's another thing. Like if you like something or definitely you retweet whatever, it'll show up in somebody's feed. But if you also, people can go search for it. And that's what happened in this instance where, people went to his page, clicked on the likes.
I better go look at my likes.
Went scrolling and screen recorded it to then post. So if you didn't see it like me, then you saw it. So then, of course, people were like, oh, that's why Mama Tina's leaving. It's full of smut. All kind of things going on here. But just, I want to say yesterday or somewhere in the...
But why like? I've never understood that. Why like it?
Exactly. I'm like, I generally hit like to let somebody else know, like, I agree with your thought, or this is profound, or whatever.
Right.
I think some people might use it as a bookmark, even though bookmark actually has a feature, which I think might be private. I don't know that you can see somebody's bookmarks, so that might be what they think they're doing.
I never really fooled with Twitter like that. Or what is it, X now?
I mean, same. You could do it in Facebook. I was dating a dude who was messing with this girl who was always tagging him and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he didn't know that because he wasn't posting it, that it wasn't showing up to all his friends. So when you like, I'm not seeing whoever. Oh, really? Well, everybody is seeing that you seeing whoever, So there it is. Exactly. So they're using it as bookmarks when there's actually a bookmark feature, I think, because there's no way in the world I think somebody would publicly be. I mean, you're an adult and it wasn't child pee, but
tell that to Tina, because clearly she...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, but in a situation where you're a public figure, you're married, as far as I know, Mama Tina has always presented herself, like you said about Angela Bassett, just, a classy lady. I'm sure she has her, downfalls like everybody else, but not to necessarily be linked to that kind of stuff. And then it's just like, oh, your husband's on here,
you never know.
Publicly clicking the likes. I mean, privately, if that's what y'all do, that's fine. But it's that,
I wonder, we need to do a live and ask, is watching porn cheating? Or is it like a certain amount of porn that's considered cheating?
Good question.
So,
Yeah, I actually felt convicted by that to say yes. I mean, I guess it could depend on how you're watching it. I don't know. I haven't seen porn in so long. Like if you're watching it together or if you're using it as some sort of stimulation to be able to be with the person you're with versus... Oh,
no, it's just you.
No. I said it when you asked me what I meant by depends, I was just giving you some other scenarios.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying,
outside of by yourself, but or in the case that you're by yourself, are you in a place where you wish you were with the person on the screen? Is it like, I think it depends or could depend on how you are interacting with the material. For some folks, it's like, oh, I got a visual that helped me, go my way, and then I'm gone. But if it's like, oh, I wish I was a fly on the wall or worse,
Okay, so then that begs the question. And I don't want to go too off topic, but so that
I'm a cheater. Are you with somebody? If you're not married, then that we definitely not. That's not what we're talking about. I think that was your question. Oh, sorry, that was your sister. You don't want to know her like that.
I wasn't about to say something to you. Just did. Now everybody know.
I mean, if anybody, we the roadies and the road dogs. It's like the first time, folks been up on the screen. They know your family at this point.
Listen, she has said some things on this show. I keep seeing the episode come up when she talked about her how she got divorced.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
And I'm like, girl, like, is that even legal? She's like, statute of limitations is passed. Like, I'm not even gonna repeat what she said.
Yeah, but I think in terms of being married, and you're saying one man, one woman, you open yourself up to other stuff. Let me just say that it might not be classified as cheating, but it might be like marijuana. It could be the gateway drug. Like it might slide you right on into the place that you don't.
Right, but so is it different than like, so I mean, let's just keep it a bug. Men are more likely to be getting off on porn than women, right? However, women still see dudes, and y'all are very cerebral, So let's just say you with your dude and you start inadvertently thinking about your celebrity crush or some dude you saw at the mall that you thought was fine or whatever. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Is that the same? Because you know what I mean? Like, one, it's a thought that popped in your head. You didn't go through your mental Rolodex and look, you know what I'm saying? And so granted, like, okay, yes, porn, you're actively putting that in front of you. So granted, yeah, your brain is gonna reference
seeking it out. Mm-hmm.
It's, and you may not even be doing it, but it's like you in an act and all of a sudden, ooh, Pinky, or whomever you watching, right?
I can speak to that. That, brothers, is that how that goes? It's like a reference point. You go back to
absolutely,
and now you have OnlyFans. You have all these things. I mean, what is it for? What is porn for? What is OnlyFans for?
It's all fantastical. So I will say, okay, we on a whole different topic.
I know. I mean,
we good. So for men, masturbation in itself is not always about sex or sexual satisfaction, right? In the older age, when you get older, like when you're young, you just excited what your body can do. Teenage, they just going to town. But sometimes as you get older, sometimes it's a stress reliever. Sometimes it's to sleep. Sometimes it is about. Sometimes it's mental clarity. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I would say, like, for, like, let's say men in their 40s, being horny is probably at the bottom of the list of reasons we do it. Now, if we're gonna do it, the porn is, for the stimulus. Mm-hmm. But like the reasoning behind it is not always like, dang, I'm horny, I gotta go. You know what I mean? And then, like, if you're in a relationship and she ain't fooling with you, or sometimes it's just I'm bored, like I got some time to myself, like bored. Like it's like that Kevin Hart bit when he was like, y'all, he's like, ladies, when y'all leave the house, he like, it be so much filth that goes on. He was like, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna beat mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so sometimes you just becoming one with yourself again, getting
right. But if you're using a stimulus that is not your partner, to get you, like, it'd be one thing if you was just watching the game and then winds up in your hand and then
that should never happen.
Exactly. So, you know, if you are now,
if you are watching, okay, let's pause.
It might not be the game. Maybe it's a commercial in between.
But we need to address this because we are not going to pass over there like you didn't just say what you just said. Okay.
Do we need to address it? I'm just saying.
No,
I was just trying to make a point that it's not.
Okay. No. I'll give a scenario. You walk in, there is a huge difference if you walk in on your dude beating off, sitting on the couch beating off, right? It's a difference if you walk in and he's watching porn, and your reaction if you walk in and he's doing it and it's a game on. Because what are you getting off to right now?
Well, that was my point. My point is, if you need to seek a stimulus that's not like, if you're watching I guess you could watch a video of you and the person you're with, then at least that person is involved. But if you are going to watch somebody else for you to be able to have this moment, then how is that not a form of cheating? Now you have these, you have these thoughts about somebody else.
No, it's because it's just visual. It's not even I wish I was with this woman that I don't know. It never met.
Well, that might be you. I'm just saying in general, that could be a slippery slope. And it can also set up things like in your actual relationship where your expectation is what you seeing on the screen versus like what's real life.
I mean, that's not much of a problem these days because they doing it anyway. There's a lot going on. But there's actually a movie about that if you haven't seen it already. It's called Love, Sex, and Eating the Bones.
I think I've heard you talk about it before, but
it's with Hill Harper. So if you find out I don't know if it's on any platforms, but Love, Sex, and Eating the Bones, where he had an actual porn addiction. And
then, God, if you get to that point, it might be,
well,
you're there for somebody, and then for somebody else, it's like they off the deep end.
And there was this one porn star that he just was always going to, and like there was like the video store. It's so far back, there was actual video store that he would go to. And they had like a contest, and if you win the contest, you can, do a scene with her, or whatever. But there was an actual visual representation where he would be watching the video and he's sitting there beating off, but then all of a sudden she would show up with him, or he would like pass out after he's done and she's laying on the couch next to him, as to simulate like that he was actually engaged with her, but like on a mental level. So I get what you're saying.
Things mean things. So it's not a judgment. It's just, let's be aware that these things are actually happening and setting up barriers in your potential, relationship, or could set up.
But if you didn't know, like,
you didn't know that it was doing that
he's doing it. Just like he's,
if as a woman you didn't know that he was doing it,
or no, I mean, it could be a guy too.
No,
women watch.
I know what
you're saying.
As one person, you don't know that the other person is doing it. That could be even worse, right? Because you might be thinking like, I could feel something's not right, or this person's not really
maybe
connecting.
he's putting it down, and it's like, but it's just not you he's thinking about.
And that, I'm sure, happens every day. That doesn't. I mean, like I said, that's not the ideal relationship. You wouldn't want to know or find out that the person that you're with is having thoughts about somebody else.
Right. So the way that you really deal with that, though, is clear browser history.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I don't know why I even try. I will just blame it on the shirt because this is what we ask for every week. Every week. Be free to be you. This is what we get. This is what we get. So we just gotta roll with it. If you're in a relationship, talk to your spouse about it or your partner about it, and make sure that you guys are on the same page. I mean, clearly nobody knows what's in somebody else's brain. So, you could run the risk of having thoughts, and we don't always control our thoughts. Like things, fly in there all the time.
Right.
But again, like you have said, controlling what we allow inside of us through our eyes, through our ear, right? Like that will start to control some of the things that we think and speak and so on and so forth. So just be very cautious about that. Folks that like to do swinging and threesomes and all the sums, my mom always told me like there's no such thing as three best friends, and that is true. Like there's all at a point in time, two is always going to be closer than the other one. So if you introduce somebody else into your situation, you might be the odd man or woman out, and you would have done that to yourself. So as you make these decisions, just determine what you can actually live with, and if it's not something that you can live with, don't mess with it, because you might wind up being a topic here on the show. I don't.
You will. I might be a little too faded for an actual sensible final thought.
That's okay. That's okay. That was actually, I like that. I liked how we landed the plane. Got a little humor, but
yeah.
I just gotta shake my head at you sometimes. I can't.
Listen, it wouldn't be the first time. You've been shaking your head for 20 years.
You're right. I can't believe I shook it off yet. Just
right. I'm full of surprises. But we need to make that a topic in and of itself. So maybe next week we might that's gonna be a pre-recorded. We're gonna talk about on
that'll be an episode.
Season 2. Yeah, so we'll do that. But y'all, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. We love the Roadies and the Road Dogs.
Come on, BFTBY.
Merch coming soon, apparently. The giveaways.
Also, you know what? We can start with shirts, or we're gonna see. There's so much coming down the pike, but we can't do it without.
No pun intended.
We can't do it without you. So please be a part of helping us to increase these numbers. If you go to our page and you see where we are, you can gather where we're headed, and we're very, very close. And so please continue to share these episodes, let people know to subscribe, hit the button, click the bell so that they can be a part of our community. So lots happening. We're recording season 2, editing. Actually, it's going down. So before you know it, we'll be doing lives, but we'll also be releasing those.
Get done cussing out our vendors.
He on everybody's head. He on everybody's head, but we want to do it right. That's important. We're not going to ask you to subscribe to something and spend your time with us week after week and not do it right. So that's what's going on.
When I have a vision and it don't look like what I was envisioning, you're going to get these notes. I sent her a screenshot of some of my notes.
Glad I'm not on the other side.
Yeah, it was a lot of notes. So we're going to see how it come out. But y'all, we love y'all. Thank y'all. This has been another Crossroads Live. And in closing, always remember,
be free to be you. Guys, have a great weekend.
We'll see y'all next week, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.